We are back. Semi-final action at the 2025 Victorian Indoor Singles Championships. We're coming to you from Chadstone Bowls Club, Stonington Sports Centre, and we have 4 absolutely cracking matchups remaining for these championships. 2 men's semi-finals, 2 women's semi-finals. The match that we'll have for you on the stream is Bob Watt of Brunswick Bowls Club and Mitch Sidebottom from Tallygaroopna. My name's Glenn Sidebottom, and I am joined by the one and only Lloyd Yacarino. Welcome, Lloyd.
Thank you, Soda. I'm still here, obviously, with Sammy progressing. So another hour and, 30, 40 minutes of fun time with you, watching some high-class lawn bowls, I'd say. Yeah,
absolutely. Now, these players have both played one game so far today to get through in their quarterfinal results. Bob Watt got through in a tiebreaker, winning his first set 8-5, dropping his second 6-11 and prevailing in the tiebreaker 2-1 over Kobe Cromie. Mitch Sidebottom had a match-up against the winner of our first stream game today, Michael Stevenson. He won that in straights, 8-5, 11-8.
Bit of a funny one. I think he said he picked up 3 shots on the first end and then didn't pick up another shot until he was 7-3 down and then clearly stormed home. So he's in good form. As we mentioned earlier, I think both of us have picked him to be right there at the end in the final. And I think you picked him as a winner too, didn't you, Soda?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the winner of this match will play the final, and that will be up against the winner of a matchup between Clayton Holcomb of Ararat VRI and Sam Rogers of Glenroy. They're playing on the rink next door. In the women's semi-finals, we've got Hayley Murnane playing Olivia Cartwright, who we last saw in our previous stream. And on the far rink, we have Shelley Beater up against Brooke Edwards, both vying for a spot in the women's Victorian Indoor final.
Should be another 2 cracking games over there. Hayley looks like she's jumped out to a bit of a start here, holding very good 3 against Olivia. So we'll keep an eye on those 2 games as we progress through this live stream.
Now, for those at home, we will do our best to live score these games from the desk as we go throughout these semi-final matchups. You'll be able to track those results on Bowls Link or on the Bowls Now app under the Bowls Victoria and 2025 Victorian Indoor Championships tabs. As always, our stream is brought to you by Dandenong Club and Moama Bowling Club, and we thank them for their support. The start of this game looks like a really solid couple of bowls for Bob Watt, and he's chasing this one with some excitement as well. Trying to find that gap, and he has done. Mitch Sidebottom, end 1, will be stepping on the mat 3 down with his last bowl in hand.
Welcome to the live stream game, Mitch.
Yeah. Just this week, Mitch seeing the announcement that he'll be making his debut for Victoria in the upcoming series against New South Wales at Dandenong Club.
As I mentioned just to you previously, Soda, he did drop a 3 on the first end of the second set in his last game against Stevo, so not unfamiliar territory to him. I don't think he'd be too worried just yet.
Not at all.
Bob, of course, quite an animated bowler. I don't know if you've had the chance to play against Bob in recent times. And
not recently, but
he does have likes to. He'll chase a few bowls down and he'll make a few comments and yell and bit of a character. So should be a very enjoyable game to watch. And
yes, has always been a character. There's Bob. Of course, you and I growing up playing against his son Chris and having known him over the years.
Dude, he always killed us, if I recall, as well.
In very strong Western Warriors side back then.
It's really annoying. I mean, we rated our side, Glenn, but we didn't win many against the Western Warriors.
Can't rate us too highly when Weapon 1 and Weapon 2 are Statler and Waldorf from the balcony.
That's a very good point.
Muppet 1 and Muppet 2.
We are on rink 2 this time rather than rink 1 where we were for the last game, so won't see that same hook from the ditch that we probably saw in rink 1. So as always with every one of these carpet rinks, very subtle differences, so the players will just feel themselves in for the first couple of ends. There is no roll-up. Oh no, there was obviously a roll-up, but there is obviously, you know, a different rink that you're playing on, so that roll-up gives you a bit of information, but lengths and angles change, so.
Good bounce back here from Mitch Sidebottom after dropping the 3 on that first end. Found his range a little bit more comfortably coming back in this direction.
Bob, a very professional outfit as well. He'll ask the right questions. He'll take his time with measured approaches. Second year that he's qualified in a row for the Aussie Indoor, so certainly enjoys playing on the carpet. Here he is chasing this bowl down with real intent. So he got the jack.
Good areas, but slices onto that bowl of Mitch's.
Can already see that emotion and excitement from Bob. I love to see it, Glenn. I'm all for it.
Up and about his old Lloyd. It's probably not very nice to be calling you old Lloyd right now.
I'm old, mate. Has been old, never was, whatever you want to say. See what Mitch can do. His angle looks very good. Gonna have a little look at this one. Gonna take his time. See the angles to the head. I think he'll probably look at maybe try and sit that bowl through on the forehand. No. He's made a liar of me. We're looking at the backhand, so maybe a little bit of pace here, Glenn, or
Yeah, I think so. He's got the tee fairly risk-free if he was to kill.
maybe splashing it out to his other ones. Maybe he sees an opportunity there.
Yeah, if he does happen to get under the jack, can possibly flick the bowl out. He's in a good area.
Just didn't quite come back for him, so. Mitch having a good look at the forehand here, seeing if he can draw another one with minimal risk, and that little port we can see on the screen between those two blows, if he can play that with a decent weight, should be a good chance to getting a second shot and getting himself on the board in the start of this semi-final. Today's winner getting a nice little prize award to help them as they aim to contest for the Australian Indoor Championship later on in the year. Mitch just playing this a little bit conservative, hitting the perfect line, not quite the weight, so he's on the board. As we've seen a couple of times, so with our Vic representatives, looking for the mat right back, but rather than the longer end like Olivia, we're going quite short.
Yeah, playing in the extremes.
And why wouldn't you play short when your first bowl looks like that? Just didn't quite get back, but certainly a very, very handy start. Mitch Sidebottom, not only a champion bowler, but one of the nicest blokes on the circuit that you'll meet.
Yeah, bit of a gentle giant out there.
Oh,
certainly strikes an imposing figure. He's
it does, isn't it?
well up there at 6'4".
Well, you're quite a giant yourself, Soda, but I love to see these tall guys who play with an eloquence and a touch that you certainly wouldn't expect it.
No, but we've certainly seen some big figures over the years that have gotten the bowl away clean. I mean, straight away Nathan Rice comes to mind. Lurch, as he's affectionately known.
Leif Selby probably moving a little bit further on with that big long stride. Played a really good one with his first.
Yes, that four bowls that you can chuck a mat over.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is how it's going to be. Once these two guys get going, we're just going to see a display of touch draw bowling with that odd bit of aggression when the time is needed. Likes the look of this one though, Mitch, and for good reason. What a great shot.
Easy game, really, isn't it?
About 15 years, and I still don't know how to get him close, but some people make it look easy, I guess.
Don't start that with me. You're talking about what was when we mentioned Sam Robinson in the last game, and I'm still got trauma from how you played on that Friday night against us this year at 3.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Gave her a very comfortable armchair ride that night.
Sometimes
and
the wobble.
She added more than a few of her own to win by 20.
Sometimes the wobble goes the right way, but most times it doesn't. Anyways, back to the good plays. Here comes Bob. Looks a little fraction high here. Very rarely do you see on this type of surface when you start to get to those 3-4+ metres of weight. The tendency is to miss high on these surfaces. Of course, when that weight comes off, there is a little bit more swing, so you have to be very, very careful in particular with the type of speed you're playing. Mitch having a good look at what's going to happen here. I think he's only got one. He'd be very aware of the respot as well.
As we've said, we're going to do our best to live score across these games as they come in. I've just looked at the wrong scoreboard there.
Glenn's working overtime for you guys. For those who can't see, he's doing scoreboards and this scoreboard and obviously commentating. So to give you guys as much information as we can. As we predicted, Mitch going for cover and a shot that I love, because now there is a thought. If he does get this wrong, or if he plays weight and the bowl hits a jack and it bounces around, you could be going down a number. Whereas before, it was a bit of a hit it and there was no real danger for Bob. So
no, none at all.
Smart bowl there from Mitch.
It is a nice wide target though. You get a good look of it from the angle that we just had over Bob's shoulder.
Seems like he might be drawing this off.
Lovely effort. Nice pace for that. Gave himself every chance. And if he was that bit tight, could have landed both of Mitch's bowls and rolled through. He's taken the first one out. I think that's all it'll be from our view.
Yep, just the one.
That's all he has asked for. It's another one to Mitch. Making it 3 shots to 2, the way of Bob through 3 ends here.
Kind of a change of strategy here as well now. We're a little bit further up with the mat, playing more of a traditional middle, as I like to call it. I wonder whether this will be a strategy that Mitch implements throughout the game. It's changing up the lengths, keeping his opponent out of rhythm.
One thing that we've seen from Mitch in recent time is how good his jack and bowl one rhythm has been, and it's certainly a tactic that I'd employ if I was in that kind of form, and that was a skill that I was really able to highlight regularly.
There's no doubt. I mean, he is clearly very, very confident at the moment, so he's not going to go away, I think, is the thing. And Bob's going to be right up to the challenge for the whole game. I don't think he's going to get too many loose ends and too many loose bowls. So that first bowl pressure from Bob's going to have to be right on as well to put as much pressure as he can onto his opponent.
Bob making the change from Craigieburn over to Brunswick this year. Recruited by our state coach, JR, Ian Ewing.
Well, if JR sees something in him, we must go right.
He was telling us the story in the office one day and just going, I just said to him, oh, I'd love to play one more year with my mate Bob. And it's been so long, and I believe Bob's response was, oh, it's just nice to be wanted.
How good's that? The old Bundy days they might have played with?
Bundy, probably before that at various stages as well, I would imagine. Oh, Mitch just leaving that one out there. Loved an extra mat length of weight.
Having a look, he's on his knee.
Just carrying that pace through.
Just a little bit extra, wasn't it? Handy home though. Bundy and Layla, there you go. From his son, tuning in.
Oh, of course, the Layla days.
Trajectory from Mitch, he likes it. He's on the trot, Glenn.
Can slide underneath and use the shelf or promote either. Clear air is very nice. Just falls shy.
Didn't get there. Almost got there. So, I don't think we're going to see a conservative approach here from Bobby. He's going to look to trail the jack. If he's on a little bit of a tighter line, he can get off his own. If he's on too much of a tighter line, inside of Mitch's bowl works to the jack as well. So I think we might see something very similar in terms of pace, just a little bit tighter. Gave himself a little bit of a pep talk before he approached the mat. It's the line I'm talking about, Soda. Going to drop down. Just probably a fraction quicker than he wanted to. So Mitch holds on. And I believe we're all square after 4 ends.
Yeah, just asking for the one there.
Funny old game, isn't it? One person does 3 in one end, the other person does 3 in 3 ends.
Yeah, we saw that a bit in the last matchup too, where there was a big chance for Sandra to get a 3 after Olivia, who picked up 3 ones, and how those swings and roundabouts of momentum can catch you out, and the ability to stay disciplined and stick to task throughout, and not let one end catch up on you can be that challenge.
So it's an interesting question. I've got two interesting questions for you. The first one is, do you feel more confident when you're the one winning single shots over multiple ends, or if you're the one winning multiple shots over single ends?
I think it depends on how you're playing. There's different ways to get one shot. Have you done it with your last bowl and just pulled it out, or are you playing well and putting one really good bowl in time and time again and then just covering? Sometimes you can be dropping one, but your opponent just keeps jagging one from nowhere, and you go, hang on, I'm doing pretty good things, and then you get the reward of that 3 and go, well, eventually they're going to miss. So It really is situational.
Very, very diplomatic answer there, Glenn. I wanted something a bit stronger. Second question I've got here is, so once again, Mitch has gone with minimum, well, not minimum, but shortish from the back of the green.
Yep.
Do you think that is, again, a tactical thing to get Bob off rhythm, or are we talking about maybe the back of the rink's a little bit more affected on this side from the wind?
Strong possibility. It's also one of those tendencies that you see a lot because there's less foot traffic and things like that, even on a carpet green like this one, that you get a little bit less late turn into the head when the jack's up. You'll see that on most greens that you play on. You can get that really wide drop, so it may be just a case of him wanting to see that, the way that the bowl arrives at the head being that little bit different.
May of course be nothing, so I'll ask him at the end of the game and say, what was the reasoning behind your tactic? I like the fact that he's thinking about a structure or a game plan to beat his opponent. I think that's super important. Even if you don't execute it, if you go in with a tactic or a game plan or a strategy, it makes you focus on what you're trying to do. Too often I think we do just put the mat down and roll the jack and don't really tune in to the task at hand, as he looks like he's got another good bowl here. Very, very close to 3, and in fact confirmed by our marker, Scott Cassidy.
That's the closest bowl.
Bob asking the question, what is the closest bowl? So there's no question other than he's looking for shot. He wants shot this end. He is not happy that Mitch has won the last 3 ends with singles. He's putting an end to it, finding a way to construct a shot. It's going to get him the mat back.
We see Bob Watt on the trot.
It's my favourite thing. He looks very close. Just the wrong side of it, Soda.
Frustrating, but that is the beauty of sets play.
It's a beautiful lawn bowls, isn't it?
Well, yeah. While we're only early doors here, Mitch with a good chance, and I would back him to draw a 4th shot here at the moment.
Yeah, look, I think he's looking at the angles here, and we speak about it a lot. I know you're a big fan of it as well, Soda, is angles that they can work off to get to the jack, getting rid of those angles, but also, is there a vulnerability if you can get an inside touch of the blue to splash that jack out?
I mean, looking at it from the angle that we've got right now, you can just see a backhand swing, try and split both those blues out. But if that jack gets going, of course, Bob's got the 2 deepest bowls on the rink, make that number. So does Mitch turn a bowl over and reduce the angles, or does he get the deepest bowl and get some tee coverage?
I genuinely reckon this is one of the tougher shots in bowls in terms of, do you protect a space in the area, or do you change the look up of the head to prevent them from getting the shot?
Especially in a game like sets play, where if we're playing, a pennant game, we know that we've got 21 ends and we're 4 ends in, you know that you're covering the back because let's just reduce the numbers.
Yep.
But the decision in a 4 or 5 end set of, do I stick the knife in, get the 4, put the pressure on him, have him 4 shots down with 4 ends to play, is much more appealing because 100%. It's let's win these mini matches. It's, in a pennant game, you might talk about your goals throughout of let's win, 3 of the first 5 ends or anything like that. But this is a case where let's win the first set.
You've got to win the first set. Well, he's having a look. He's very, very close. How's this going to run off? Oh, he's
flicks the jack on the way through.
But, 3 to 1, certainly not a bad result. Let's look at this replay. If he's a little bit softer on that front bowl, he probably gets the result, but the jack flicks through on the way through. Unfortunate from Bob, and it's another single, dare I say it, for Mitch. 4 in a row.
let's put the right number into that scoreboard when we start entering these things.
You're doing very well. If we do look around the grounds, Brooke Edwards in her first game, she had a strong victory. She's facing a tough battle here, 4-4. Who's she playing against over there, Brooke? I haven't seen.
She is playing against, let me just look at my notes here, Shelley Beater.
Shelley Beater, so.
Shelley is playing out of Caulfield Park, Alma.
CPA, I was going to say, it looks like a CPA uniform, so one that'll be enjoying a dome very soon, as we mentioned earlier. Olivia, I think, might be down, is that right?
No,
she's up. She's up, she's fed away. So she's 8-2 up in her game. And then Clayton Holcomb comfortably up at the moment, 7-1 against Sammy Rogers in the first set. And then we're here on the live stream. So there are our semi-finals. As we had a bit of a measure from Bob. And may I say, Soda, could that have been a bit of a little tactic there from Bob, just to say, hey, you know, you've won 5 in a row. I'm just going to put a bit of tape on. Just
break that rhythm. It's one of those where you look at it and it certainly looks in. I'm not sure what the top of line to top of line measurement is here at Chadstone, but the Maddie's certainly on the top of the line and the Jack's past it.
I remember back in the days when I was leading, I always used to hate when people used to call a measure because it does break up that rhythm. I mean, Mitch is very accomplished, so it wouldn't bother him too much, but it does just break up that rhythm a little bit, and certainly within your rights to do it. And also settles you down to put your first bowl in a very comfortable position, as he has done there, Bob, with his starter. Lindsay mentioning that Moo and him started playing bowls on the same day at Tally. Certainly won a lot of events. So he comes in here very experienced, as both these players do. Both of them will be very confident that they can get the title today.
Yeah, we did just do that round the grounds. For those at home, we are doing our best to live score these matches. Of course, fingers are working overtime on the phone trying to put scores for 4 matches in at once, but if you are trying to track, jump onto Bowls Link and have a look at the 2025 Victorian Indoor Championships tab, men's and women's events, final series draw, and you'll see those games getting live scored.
Bob just trying to miss that front bowler. Mitch has just slightly pushed that line a little bit higher and didn't quite come back. At a lovely speed again. With a little bit more pace here. He's looking very positively at these bowls. This could be an outstanding shot if he gets he has.
Would have liked to have gotten a little bit more of the inside of it, a little bit fatter.
For a second there, he might almost flick the first one and get the second one for a 3, but wasn't to be. Bob played at such a beautiful pace with his first 2. Just looking for that minor correction to sneak past the side bottom bowl. Held that line. So what's Mitch's go-to here? Is he? You've obviously seen him bowl a bit. Yep. Is his go-to to kind of sit this bowl through, hold a tidy 3 with a bit of space to work with, or is his go-to to try and nail this on the jack and put his opponent under pressure? What's his style?
I think given he's just played that weight, he should be backing himself to pick a line rather than pick a weight. Saying that, Bob does have last bowl of the end, so it's certainly a strong case to be made for just drawing it lights out, making Bob's job to get shot as hard as possible.
I think they're equally as effective as well, you know, and I understand you're giving your opponent 2.5 feet to draw the shot, but holding 3, well, being 3 down and trying to get the shot versus 1 down to a resting toucher, they are different situations, and pressure does matter in these games, particularly when that bowl in front is on the draw line. But he is going to just try and knock up this bowl. Just not quite the weight. I think if the hand was open, I would have been tempted to draw, but with that bowl on the run in, I thought there was an opportunity there to try and take that bowl out. Nevertheless, Bob will try and draw second to take back the lead in this first set of the Victorian Indoor semi-final. His line looks very juicy, Glenn.
Juicy lines.
That's about all, though. I think it's probably a bit tentative on the weight.
And it'll be one to Bob. Squaring things back up at 4 apiece. Of course, sets play bowls here. 2 9-end sets. If they split the sets 1 apiece or 2 drawn sets, then we will go to a 3-end tiebreaker.
I love this from Bob as well. The first thing he's done is he's brought the mat up. He's rolled the jack right where Mitch has been avoiding. Whether that's been tactical, we're not sure. But he's bowled it, put the jack right into a spot that maybe Mitch wasn't overly happy to have it in. So very smart tactical change of length here from Bob. The follow-up is now nailing the jack. One thing for new bowlers at home to remember, that the tactical change is less effective if you can't put your first bowl right on.
That's me. It's really impressive, and we'll talk about when he plays his next bowl. For a man of Mitch's height to be able to get as low as he does, his leg work on the mat is really impressive to see. The load that he puts through his front knee and that step size. This green running 14 3/4, 15 seconds, not the longest of ends. To be able to control his pace and his step length is really impressive to watch.
So watch this, Bob from Bob, then you can talk us through this technique, Glenn, because you're right, the power that comes through the legs, obviously that's one aspect of delivery, but just talk us through what Mitch is doing and how he becomes so consistent and so in control of the delivery.
The reality of it is, he's well over 6'4". There's a lot of pendulum, a lot of arc there. So for him to crouch as low as he does and put as much pressure and weight through his knees as he is to reduce that backswing and have control of that pace is thoroughly impressive. We talk about the opposite side of that. Someone, a large man like a Matt or an Anthony Flapper driving, and it seems effortless because they're such tall presences. Their arm swings right the way back. That long momentum arc and arm going through can effortlessly add pace to the bowl. Well, conversely to that, taking it off is nice and easy when you, or difficult. Sorry, is difficult when you've got that height to try and rein back in. Across the greens, Sammy Rogers has picked up 3 shots to tighten that back up a little bit. Clayton was starting to run away 9 shots to 1, but 3 tightens that up with a couple ends to play.
Good on you, Sammy. Beautiful shot there from Bob. Love the fact that he hasn't given an angle. Get another look at this beautiful technique of Mitch. What I like about it is that he is a tall man, but as Glenn said, all of that is happening down at green level. So his core is low. And that's got the jack. What an effort there. In a very dangerous position now for Bob. Yes, he's holding shot, but I wouldn't want to be giving Mitch another shot at that.
No, and that's the other side of this argument. While we've seen him on the draw throughout the day, he certainly does have the weaponry there, and that drive is large. He's got the respot. He's got the 2 deepest bowls. If he does want to have a look at that 1 bowl target, he'll have every chance to. I'd just as likely back him to trail at a foot and make 3 though as well.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Sets play, as we've spoken about a lot, it is a different game, but particularly singles. I mean, you try and play smaller weights to keep that rhythm going, that draw rhythm going as much as you can until the moment comes where you need to change it up. I think we all remember that Commonwealth Games Championship that Disco won where he used his drive very early in an end to change momentum. So it seems to me to be that you kind of stay on that draw as much as you can and then use that drive as a weapon to swing momentum. This is a fair effort, but I think that's probably told you the story about what the next shot's going to be.
You said juicy limes. I'm saying juicy heads.
Yeah, I don't think
2 bowls wide, both on the near the same weight. Can certainly split out.
it's a split, isn't it? So you look at that angle there is perfect. The split between those two whites will almost separate them from the jack.
And neither of Bob's are touches, are they?
Correct. Allows that bowl as well to run through. So this will be a shot he's very confident on. He's close. Is it going to hold on?
Ask for the get them
Yeah,
both,
there it is,
and
and
he
the
does,
extra
and
one
the
as
extra
well.
one too.
For a little bit of fun. Mitch Sidebottom. Have a look at the replay, Glenn.
I like that he didn't go massive at that. He played more of that swing weight and allowed the target to be at its widest.
Picks up a 3.
And suddenly a 4-all scoreboard after 6 ends is very different.
Certainly played a good end, Bob. You know, he drew a lot of bowls in the area. That last damaging attacking shot from Mitch was the result. So I don't think he'd be too despondent at this stage. And certainly this set is not gone by any means. And decided on a Victorian Indoor Championship.
And once again, Mitch goes back to mat up, jack up, and puts his first one in a pretty good space. But Bob answering.
It's very interesting in terms of, and we said it in the previous game, the cat and mouse or the game of chess that the players play. You know, when you're playing a similar length to your opponent, I don't know how you feel, Soda, but I certainly feel when I'm playing singles, you don't really want to be the first one to break. You don't want to be the first one to change the length and almost admit defeat. But sometimes it's super important to recognise that maybe a change-up is important or necessary.
I'm just trying to keep up with the live scoring here, and we've got a bit of a comeback going on in the Hayley Murnane, Olivia Cartwright matchup. Another 2 shots to Hayley means that she is only 2 shots behind, trailing 6-8, playing the last end of the first set there now.
Looks like she's holding shot too, Soda.
Yeah. In the other men's semi-final, Clayton Holcomb has picked up the first set against Sam Rogers. They're moving on to the second.
He's very, very worried about that bowl. He was Bob, and he has just middled it. Let go there for Mitch. As we keep looking around the grounds. Just going to peel past with a beautiful weight.
And just as we were saying that about the comeback for Hayley against Liv, Liv's played an absolute seed, trailed it, holding 1, and all of Hayley's bowls are short. So
yeah, didn't age well that one. It was an absolute corker from for Liv. So really interesting psychologically here. I know we shouldn't get psychological on the live stream, but let's do it anyway. So Bob's run into one of Mitch's short bowls. His second one is now trying to draw it, and he's dropped short. So how do you think there's any relation there? Do you think it's a coincidence, or is the fact that he ran into that bowl and probably a little bit disappointed because he thought he might have had a really good bowl, or is there a psychological, I guess, problem with that or challenge?
I think as much as anything in that situation, he's played the percentages. Yes, there's a little bit of it there, but it's needed to do.
It was Roger Federer who said, you know, you're going to play a lot of points, or in our game, a lot of bowls, and you've got to move on quick to the next bowl. You've got to move on quick to the next point, because you're not going to win them all. You're not going to play every shot exactly perfect. It's really critical, no matter what happens before, as we're seeing weight. Just hits his own at the front. You can't spend too much time thinking about a bowl you miss or a bowl you play on error, because you've got another one that can impact the game coming straight after. Interesting strategy there from Mitch, this time looking to being a bit more aggressive and getting that white bowl out. Unfortunately, it was just a bit under. Beautiful opportunity now for Bob to draw a second. He nailed the line with his last bowl.
Liv Cartwright has sewn up the first set in her women's semi-final. Shelley Beater leading Brooke Edwards 7-5 after 7 ends in the other women's semi.
Looks like he's played a very nice pace with this bowl, Bob. Is he there?
Did well to navigate his own.
Is it enough? I think it might be.
It's one of those interesting shots there for Bob. To miss his own bowl, he probably had to play a weight where he knew he was going to finish short. Oh, can the sun come back? It's just dropped away from that little bit of warmth it was providing on the dome.
Certainly not getting warmer here at Chadstone. I was going to say Dandenong, but here at Chadstone.
Yeah.
I think this is 2. Let's have a look. I think it's close.
As much as we would love to see spectators coming out and watching some fantastic bowls here at the Stonington Sports Centre today, we are certainly glad to have our streaming product available for those of you at home watching on Facebook or YouTube. Of course, that stream brought to us, as always, by Dandenong Club and Moama Bowling Club, our wonderful streaming partners. Plenty of streaming action coming up in the near future as well. Under 18 tri-series between Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland from Bowls Victoria's junior host club partner, Club Sunbury, followed by the Paras and the over 60s playing at Dandenong Club against New South Wales, and then an open sides series against New South Wales also at Dandenong Club. Once we get through that part of August, we will be moving on to VBL, 2 sectional weekends and a final weekend.
So all that bowls, Glenn, surely. I mean, it must be summertime.
We get through that and I think it's about August 20.
Goodness gracious.
It's a packed calendar coming up through the month of August.
Well, you look at those 3 clubs, and obviously they've got world-class facilities, each one of them, but each one of them also hosting a side in the VBL with Dandenong Club, Sunbury, and 2 shots, I think it was there, soda there to Bob.
Wait for the paddles from Scott. Yes, it is.
Dandenong Club, Sunbury, and of course Moama, all having VBL sides, so they'll go into those competitions with a lot of confidence. And then all 3 of them having got the wrong word there, BPL sides as well. So supporters of the sport they are, and certainly we're very lucky to have them supporting the live stream today to give up this world-class feed. This time, I think Mitch has just ducked off for a bit of a toilet break, maybe a bit of a chance to have another look at those around the grounds, because Olivia seems to have started the second set in the same fashion that she's finished the first set. She's picked up a 4 on end 1.
That helps.
Certainly does. And could I be right in saying Sammy said, I'm come to play in the second set. He's picked up a 2 with 1 bowl to go. As Mitch returns. And we're seeing a first kind of real change in length. Bob going a little bit longer.
I haven't seen too much of it getting stretched right the way out. Interesting time to go longer, given that Bob needs to get a 2 on this last end to win the set.
I think as we discussed earlier, if you are trying to look at picking up a number, you know, in singles, certainly 2 is one of those numbers, because there's not many bowls in the head. Longer is always more chance of bowls being sprayed. You know, there's less chance of picking up a 2 or a 3 or a 4 when you are going short. Tighter heads.
So we've got the banner running across the bottom of the screen at the moment for Bowl for Your Lives. Bob Watt using the Bowl for Your Lives stickers at the moment.
Is he?
Of course, yes.
Oh.
Wonderful supporters of mental health initiatives and a brilliant charity partner with Bowls Victoria. Last end of the first set in the Brooke Edwards and Shelley Beater matchup. Shelley leading 8 shots to 5 through 8 ends.
Comes Mitch with another good shot, putting the pressure on.
Just a certain level of discipline there. And next door, Sam Rogers putting 2 to a foot with a 3 zip lead at the start of the second, having dropped the first set.
Can't believe my eyes over there, what's going on. Sammy Rogers.
You believe it or not, sometimes he does get close.
Okay.
I'm still twitching a little bit from what he did to me in the qualifying games to get through to today. Knocked me out in the semi-final to get through to here, and then beat a fellow Burwood teammate of mine in the final to get through. And both of them were comprehensive. Both the boys in this matchup qualified at Brighton and got through. And both of them only dropping 1 set on... Oh, sorry, no. Mitch dropped 2 sets. Won both of his sectional games in tiebreakers and then swept his knockout games in straight sets. Bob also winning both his sectional games in tiebreakers before going straight sets through his knockout games to get through. Of course, his earlier game today against Kobe Cromie was won in a tiebreaker. So I wouldn't mind seeing a tiebreaker in this matchup to see who does it well, because they're both clearly accomplished at them. What's Bob playing here, Lloyd?
It's a really interesting question. Obviously, 1 draws the set, which is handy, but the way that Bob plays, I think he's going for the winner. I think he's going to try and trail this jack.
Backhand side.
Question of whether it's going to turn. Needs a late turn.
It's dropping hard.
Needs a real late turn. That'll do it. That'll do it.
Certainly got the 1. That'll be it, though.
I think it's 1. So choices now for Mitch. Remember, 1 is a drawn set, which means Glenn's dream of a tiebreaker is gone already.
No, just draw both sets.
Draw both sets is a good point.
Draw both sets, 3 in tiebreaker, draw the tiebreaker as
That'd
well.
be all right, wouldn't it?
Force it to an extra end. Have an umpire's call that comes back as a drawn extra end, tight end. Play 5 ends of tiebreaker.
It's going to a new extreme, that is.
Let's just blow up the bowls world with the best stream that there's ever been, the tightest match ever played. Set records on the viewers.
So I think he's just kind of gone for a draw shot here if he can.
Yeah, it's a similar area to where Bob's came from, but he does need to work hard back.
It's working. Oh,
what an effort, Mitch Sidebottom.
Is it going to drop? I think he's done it. What an outstanding shot that is. Get your chocks under it, I think, if you're Bob.
Yeah, don't want that falling over.
Because it certainly looks very close to shot. This set's only going to be decided by a measure.
Oh. The production from Josh again. Loves a close zoom at a good measure.
It is. It is Mitch Sidebottom with the shot. And the first set, 8-6.
So we've said it throughout the day. When you can win that first set, there's just that little bit of pressure alleviated. Oh, and there's the trees blowing in the background from Josh as well. How much of a true Melbourne winter's day it is.
Oh, look, I can guarantee you, if you're playing this anywhere else that doesn't have a dome, it would be disastrous conditions to play in. The bowls would be swirling around like anything, very hard to control. So I think we are very, very thankful. I know I'm very thankful to be sitting under the comfort of the Chadstone Bowling Club Arena. Could we have seen shot of the day? We've seen 2 rippers so far this morning. Michael Stevenson with his last bowl. Now Mitch Sidebottom with his last bowl. And Bob played his final bowl of the end. He probably thought he had the set tied up. How's he going to respond? What is the next chapter in this match, Glenn?
Of course. Both players looking for that opportunity in the Victorian indoor singles final.
Have you been to Tweed Heads before?
Many a year ago. $7,000 prize pool here today, which will also act as some motivation for the players to work through an extra round towards the final. Yeah, earning that title and getting your name on the trophy alongside last year's winners Colin Veenendahl and Kelly McCarran. Also the main honour out of that one.
Chance to progress to become the Australian indoor champion and then of course the world indoor champion. If you were like me, staying up to 4 a.m. in the morning watching Jack McShane drive out that bowl and then draw to the ditch for the world title, could it be Bob Watt next year? Could it be Mitch Sidebottom? Who knows? Both will get their chance at Tweed Heads later this year to represent Australia. Everyone we've seen today will be going to Gold Coast. Will be going to Tweed Heads to contest the Australian indoor representing Victoria. But today, the Victorian Indoor Championship title is up for grabs. We're just going to have a little look at this and say, do I need coverage or am I going to tidy it up?
Oh, I think the disciplined thing to do here is go back and not necessarily even get the deepest bowl on the rink, but just get to where 4 or 5 feet beyond the head, stop the chance of Bob getting Jack for 4.
He does love dropping a 3 though on the first end, so we can't discount that.
Yeah, it worked for him last time around. Let's just try that again, and that's finished in a lovely home.
Yeah, he played that well, didn't he?
Okay. Bob's not playing a shot for 4 now. He's playing a shot for 2 at best. If he gets the Jack right through, he can play a miracle shot and somehow make 3 out of it if he stays with the Jack, but I can't see the direction that that's going to happen.
Trying to draw this off, Bobby. He looks very close. Just needs to hurry on that line.
Front.
Oh, he's a bit stiff.
Looks like it could still be 3 most likely.
Well, I think you're right. And can't see.
We saw what happened with the 3 to start the last set, though. Give us the tiebreaker, Lloyd. Across the other rinks, Sam Rogers leads 4-0 after 3 ends in set 2. Having dropped the first set there, Olivia Cartwright is absolutely storming through her second set. Having won the first, she now leads 9-0 after 4 ends in the second set there.
Looking very good for our tip, that one there, Glenn. Olivia is in very much control, 9-0 up after 4. You don't get much better for a start in the second set when you won the first set. As Mitch Sidebottom goes, bang, or just flicks it, to be honest.
Shelley Beater beat Brooke Edwards 9 shots to 5 in the first set of their matchup. Brooke picking up 1 on the first end of the second set there.
All class, Brooke. I think she'll fight back in this second set. I do expect that game to go to a tiebreaker, so keep an eye on that one.
Again, it's good for both your and my tips. I think we both had the Liv versus Brooke final penciled in at the start of the day, or penned in our predictions, and then just hoping that they held up their end of the bargain.
Yeah, correct. I think you probably didn't want us to be tipping you, but anyways, that's what's happening.
It generally doesn't work out too well for you.
This is on a lovely track here.
I should have given my tipping sheet before the day to Robin in the office, who's currently winning the BV staff tipping by about 17 shots from her husband in second place, and then it's daylight to third. I think before last weekend she was sitting in the top 0.2% of all tippers in the competition. Ridiculous areas. Of course, Robin's actually not allowed to be here today because Sam has banned her from attending any of his games. Whenever she rocks up, he loses.
Well, Robin, get down here. Come on, where are you?
No, don't do that to him.
No, he's going well in this set. So fascinated to see how this set plays out. Last set it was Bob jumping out and Mitch clawing him back. Can Bob repay the favour?
We've got Bob Carlson down on hands and knees on Sam Rogers' rink with the feeler gauges out, trying to determine shot on that rink. There had been
must be close.
7 bowls, I think, that you could have put under the mat.
Switch to the calipers. Doesn't often switch utensils. Meanwhile, over here, Mitch has been able to sit the bowl. Bob looking very nice on the draw. Is his weight there?
Should drop back, uses the front face of the bowl, or gets
He's
the
done
gap
enough.
clean.
He's done enough.
And it was another shot to Sam.
I think he's going to be conservative with this one. Sitting the jack high bowl through. If he's a little bit tight onto his own works. Nothing ridiculous, just overweight. Big opportunity here for Mitch. The track looks very delightful.
Hard to tell with that camera wobble in the wind right now, but gets his own up, and it goes with the jack.
It's always the second option. Certainly not the number one. I think he was going for the bowl hiding there, but look, he gets through that bowl, and that was always the chance. Beautiful slow motion contact through the jack.
And look, that shot was able to be played by all the hard work he'd done earlier in the end. A couple of bowls just beyond the jack in that 1 to 3 feet by area. Just that security blanket where he could afford to make a mistake. He could afford for that jack to move a little bit. If his own bowl did happen to get taken out clean, he had enough others nearby to help save it. Let's see how Bob Watt responds here.
It's also on a very nice line. Ooh, it hasn't quite worked out for him.
Might have made it one worse. Bit hard to tell from the angle whether the bowl at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock has it.
That's a super effort, just getting the inside off it, running past the jack.
I mean, on a different day, he gets the middle of that jack and runs through for a couple.
100%. Game of inches, and that certainly was. If we go back to Mitch's last bowl there, I think it's a good lesson for new bowlers there, particularly learning the back end, is if you've got an option that's going to give you 2 or 3 chances, if you're just underline or just overline and it brings in another option, you're taking that chance every single day of the week, twice on Saturdays at Victorian Indoor Championships. Looks like a double. It is, so it's 5-0. Very similar to the last game that we just watched on the live stream. Olivia won the first set, sprinted out to the early lead. We were able to see Sandra claw that back to lose on the last draw shot. Now the challenge is over to Bob to slowly chip away over the next 7 ends.
Speaking of Olivia, that clinical performance continues. It was 11-0 lead after 5 ends in the second set, having won the first in her matchup with Hayley Murnane.
Sammy's in a bit of trouble next door. He's going with big weight, needs a result.
Oh,
he does
a little
it.
bit stiff to not hang around. I don't know whether you had the chance to see it or not, but Sam's quarter-final went down to a tiebreaker. He was down match with 1 bowl left in hand and managed to play a perfect split and peel out both of Conor Maguire's bowls and leave only his left on the rink. It was a wonderful weighted shot to see.
Look, I didn't see it, but he's told me about 15 times since I came back.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like Sam at all.
Just a little bit unfortunate there, Bob, just flicking the jack through. Last couple of ends, it hasn't been far away for putting some serious damage on the scoreboard, but just not quite working. Chance here now.
Clayton does draw with his last and turn that into 2 shots. So Sam now leads that second set 5 shots to 2 after 5, having lost the first to Clayton Holcomb of Ararat VRI. So Clayton had a magnificent game on the stream last year against Matt O'Brien, which was quite the arm wrestle to watch.
Yeah, look, he's a dark horse really of this competition, Clayton. When I say dark horse, it's probably unfair because he's a very, very capable bowler. But as you mentioned last year on the stream, and you know, as I said last week in the VBL against Joey Clark, he was outstanding. Joseph just got over the line and was bowling brilliantly to do so at Chadstone, so he knows this green well. He plays the pressure moments very, very well as well. So certainly a real favourite in this event, I would say, for the men. As Bob this time with the jack, not again, just sneaking past.
You don't like to designate any player as a specialist in one area, but it really does seem like he is a single specialist at that area with that 4-bowl rhythm and controlling his own game and controlling his own mental state throughout a game is where he's at his most dangerous.
I know a few times last week, you know, Joseph was holding, you know, 3s and 4s, and he would come through with his last bowl and be so effective, and became a situation where it was just good bowling, you know, because he did it so often. So he certainly has a lot of confidence in this format. I call myself a bit of a turkey triples specialist.
And while this head's been going on, we have our first finalist of the 2025 Victorian Indoor Singles Championships, with Olivia Cartwright picking up a 2 to make that a 13-0 lead after 6 ends in the second set. Did not need to play the last 3 ends, having won the first set, and she is through to the women's final.
And meanwhile here, Glenn, a huge moment in this game. Mitch has just missed the jack. I thought all the way down as we look at this replay, this has got to be halving the jack. It's got to be. It doesn't. What a bit of camera work there as well. And it is
stiff to miss both, really, to not halve the jack or get any pieces of Bob's bowl either.
100% all the way it looked like it, but that now leaves him vulnerable for a number here, Bob. And what a time to do it. If it can be a full count. All about speed. Has he given it enough? Maybe a let off there for Mitch. But we'll certainly be counting white bowls because I think it's 2.
It is. Good eye from you there, Lloyd.
I just make it up and hope that it works. And so
that's like me bowling.
Well, 50% of the time you've got to get something right, don't you? I think that's how it works. I'm thinking we might see Bob really try to stretch this out now. Went a little bit longer before. Probably outdrew Mitch up to a couple of aggressive shots. I think this one's going to be really stretched out.
We're coming to you from Chadstone Bowls Club and the Stonington Sports Centre. Magnificent facilities here for the 2025 Victorian Indoor Singles Championships. Streaming brought to you by Dandenong Club and Moama Bowling Club. Semi-final action. Winner of Bob Watt and Mitch Sidebottom to play the winner of Clayton Holcomb and Sam Rogers. In the women's side of things, Olivia Cartwright is through to her final. She will play the winner of Brooke Edwards and Shelley Beater.
After losing the first set, Brooke still in a comfortable position in the second. 3-love after 3. And Sammy 5-2 up against Clayton on the next rink in the men's semi-final. But Clayton starting to find his way back into the second set, holding another shot over there. And of course, from our live stream rink, in contrast to the first set, Mitch Sidebottom has got off to an early lead with a 5-2. It's now up to Bob Watt to try and find his way back into this contest, and I think this might be a really good way to do it, Glenn.
Yeah, just clears the blue. Finished half a bowl in front. Yeah, back of the bowl, front of the jack. Full bowl in front of Jack Eye.
Say that again. Back of the bowl, front of the jack.
Yep. So that's a bowl in front of Jack.
Front of the jack. Okay.
Because the front of the bowl is a full bowl in front of the jack. So that's a bowl in front of Jack Eye.
Yep.
It's a bit of a deceptive one in the language about it, and it's an important lesson that we give to new bowlers about what Jack Eye is versus a bowl in front versus 2 bowls, because often they go, oh, that's not 2 bowls in front, that's 1 bowl. Well, no, it's not a 1 bowl gap. You've got to count the bowl that would have been there as well.
So what is true Jack Eye?
Front of bowl and front of jack being level to each other. And that's front of bowl and jack from the player's perspective.
Yep. Pitched his line again. I think Bob probably didn't have the weight either. Chance here for Mitch. He is 1 down. But certainly has the percentage of bowls in the head at this stage.
Good opportunity for him, having dropped that 2 on the last end and been a little bit loose, to just bounce straight back and keep that ascendancy. Obviously has that first set in his pocket as well.
Particularly with the change of length, you certainly don't want to give up this end, because your opponent starts to think, I've got him. I think he's drawn the shot here cold, Glenn. What a shot.
Yeah, that works.
That works. That works fine.
Saying that, it's gone from being a jack-sized target to a jack and a bowl-sized target.
Correct.
Bob with the deepest bowl on the rink and the bowl that bowl in front of Jack High on the side that it's likely to go if he does get movement. Can play this fairly confidently.
So let's talk about this, because you're right. He's got the bowl at the back, which is great. No doubt about it. Jack back there is huge. How much is going through Bob's mind as we see him looking here about that blue through the white? Or is it not even in his mind at all?
I don't think it's necessarily an issue, knowing that he's also got the Jack High bowl. He's got, when we switch to the back view as this bowl comes down, he's got the bowl that'll be at 6 o'clock and at 9 o'clock. And I can't see a way that both of them go.
But if Bob hits that blue as he's coming very close through the white, it could be 3 down.
I would imagine that he'd stay in the area, though, with the weight that he's played.
Okay, well, that just showed you, so. Seemed like you were spot on. Played a good weight, didn't he?
Yeah, and that's the important thing of that. If you're trying to move 2 bowls, generally there's so much impact and collision going on that you're going to hang around yourself. If it's 1 bowl, there's that risk that you might run through yourself, but bowl through bowl, you're starting to get into an area where the physics just doesn't line up for everything to disappear. And if it does, then you go, well, the bowl's gods aren't on my side today.
I think he played the right weight. I think if he had gone any quicker, there was that danger of that his bowl going out of the head and him now ending up 3 down and pretty much set over. So big chance here for Mitch. Obviously, any jack movement, a touch, a full count, and it gets harder and harder.
Needs to slow.
Don't think he'll get back.
Going to. I think it'll be another one to Mitch Sidebottom. But again, stopping Bob winning back-to-back ends, having had the strong start to this set, is all Mitch needs to do.
What a great point, Glenn, in terms of if you are out to a bit of a lead in sets play, just stop the cluster, stop them from picking up end on end. You're going a long way to winning the match. Next door in the other semi-final, we'll see a flick of it. Sammy Rogers, he's 5-3 up, but 2 at the head, 1 set down. Ends running out. Big, big moment for Sam. And he's drawn the shot, Sam, as is Mitch. What a moment to draw the shot, Sammy Rogers. Rather than 5-all, he jumps out to a 6-3 lead with 2 to go. He's not given up on this competition just yet.
And same story as we just talked about on this. That would have been back-to-back ends for Clayton. Sam drawing the shot, stops that ongoing momentum.
Great starter here from Bob. Mitch, I think, will be playing a very similar speed. Bowl or jack here is ideal. He's close to the jack, Glenn. Don't tell me he's missed it again. Oh, Lord. Oh, no, he hit it. Very good shot.
Well, if you look really closely, you can see that that one thread of carpet, the jack has moved off centre. In the remaining women's semi-final, Shelley Beater has picked up 3 on end 4 to square that at 3 shots apiece. Of course, Shelley won the first set, so all she needs from this is a set draw to get through to the final against Olivia Cartwright.
We spoke about it earlier. Every time I give a little glance up there, it does seem like Brooke is the one that's on the jack, but funny old game, singles. Sometimes it only does take 1 out of 4. It's covering both sides. Bob asking how far his bowl is in front. Obviously looking at an opportunity to work off that front bowl.
Needs to be somewhat cautious with it, given that Mitch has 3 bowls behind the jack within about a foot of weight. Bob no doubt looking to promote his own bowl or just get around that to the bowl of Mitch's that's a couple of bowls beyond the jack. And looks a good track to be getting down to that blue bowl of Mitch's.
Looks very close here, Glenn. Which side's
He's
he going to
liking
hit
it, and it's just held outside. Now, we are playing on rink 2. It's the only hand in this entire venue where I've seen the odd idiosyncrasy. Is this backhand going that way, where if you miss by just a little bit, you might finish 6 inches wide. Across the rest of the green, forehand, backhand, either direction has been incredibly true from what I've experienced here. It's the only rink that I'd noticed it on, but maybe that was just me saying things as Sam was single-handedly destroying me on this rink.
There's only one solution, I think. We're going to have to rip the green up
Oh, yeah.
and get it relayed to fix up rink 2.
Is this the city of Stonington?
No, it is a beautiful green. Mitch now, lots of choices. Is he going to look to maybe get this jack a little bit out of sight?
Shirley Beater playing late with a big drive there. Jack has killed. Waiting to see what the outcome of that respot is. Whose bowl's next to it?
I think she's done a good job. Maybe she's got the shot there, I think.
Sam Rogers looks to possibly be dropping 3 here.
Yeah, it's a bad time for Sammy to drop 3. 1 would have been handy. You see Clayton on the next rink there walking back. He is walking back to add a 3rd, maybe a 4th, which would make that a 6-all game going into the last. There's our head here, Bob. I think he's 1 down. Any jack movement's no good. Unless that jack gets all the way through. He likes it.
Certainly got more intent. Can get a walk off his own.
That'll do it. That will do it, I think.
Oh, yeah, Marcus Scott Cassidy having a good look.
It's not conceding just yet.
There it is.
There it is. Next door, Clayton was unable to draw the 3rd, which means that going into the last end of the second set, Sammy Rogers will be 1 up and he'll have last bowl, and his opponent's just thrown the jack into the ditch as well. So
nice place to be if you're Sam.
Bobby didn't last too long on that longer end. He's gone shorter this time.
As you mentioned, though, still playing with that jack right back in that tee area that Mitch was staying away from.
He's done the job, I think, here, Bob, after the big start from Mitch. He's ranged him back in. It's only 3 shots. Now he needs to put a couple of good ends together, as we mentioned before, Glenn. End on end on end.
Interesting to see that after Clayton's thrown that jack in the pit, Sam's gone to the mat a couple of yards shy of the top of the line, and Jack just shy of the top of that line as well. That is the length that Sam played religiously through qualifying at this venue. In his section, in all of his knockout games, felt very, very comfortable playing that short length to the middle.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's information there. It's when you're up by 1 with 1 end to go, and you got the last bowl. Forget your opponent. Just play whatever length you can play to get the last shot. His line's been very good so far in this second set. Quite often nailing the centre rink. Weight hasn't been quite probably where he'd want it, but continuously finding the line. Particularly coming this way, Glenn. Another great shot from Mitch.
We're not too far from that goals and minutes area either, Lloyd. Bob 3 shots down, 4 ends to play, with Mitch holding a very good 1 and a look. That ball from Bob won't trouble the scorers either.
Little dagger here from Mitch. I think if he can kind of clear one past, put one right on. It's going to be very difficult for Bob to score this end. He's done it almost perfectly. A little bit stiff, but it doesn't make it that much easier.
Widens the target, but adds the extra shot in.
Next door, that looks like the first set done. Sorry, second set done. Sam Rogers has won the second set, so we're going to a tiebreaker. Talked about angles earlier today. There is an angle there for Bob. Off the wide blue, onto the shot bowl. Keep himself in this game. Big moment here. Bob Watt.
Shirley Beaters just picked up another couple of shots as well. She now leads 6-3 in the second set after 6 ends, having the first set in her pocket.
Didn't come down, I didn't feel like, for Bob that time. I thought he was a bit unlucky. But this is going to make it very challenging.
Sidebottom appears to be changing to the backhand side to try and draw another. Nice and high line, stay off those whites.
Don't think it matters if he does because it's all the blue going up, but he just didn't quite make
No
it.
Wait.
Is it 2?
It's definitely 2. It's the third that I'm not sure about. That bowl at 12 o'clock or 9 o'clock as we look at it now is in.
I can have a measure. I'm keeping an eye on next door, Glenn, because Sammy Rogers there is trying to ruin my afternoon plans. He is holding shot in the first end of the tiebreaker against Clayton.
Mitch is in for the third from the looks of that.
And that's going to make it tough for Bob. 3 ends to go, 6 down. I think the option really is he must score this end.
Absolutely.
Over that far rink there for the ladies semi-final, Shally, I think, is streaming ahead once again in this second set with a 6-3 lead with 3 to go, Glenn, which I didn't see coming.
Yep, and has one right on it. First into the tie break next door. It appears that Clayton has 1 and a look. His third bowl coming down as we speak. Remains 1 and a look.
1 and 2 looks.
No, 1 and 1 look. Bob just sailing through. He's done that a little bit as this game's gone on, where he's probably had 6 inches to a foot too much weight and not necessarily landed bowls, turned through gaps or held around things.
I think you're spot on there. I think there's a couple of times where he is just missed jacks, just missed bowls by literally millimetres, and they've provided to be costly in the end, with Mitch being so consistent with that line.
Yeah, it's been metronomic, and again, having that first set in his pocket has meant that he can just stay to his rhythm, keep doing what he's doing well, and doing what got him into this position.
Relaxed and confident. Bob certainly not going away just yet. Very close to shot. ITO, Scott Cassidy's having a good look at it, and he can't pick it.
Says he favours Mitch. So Mitch will follow this one down and have a look himself.
Track looks beautiful for the white, Glenn.
I think he's under the white. Is he going to get all the way down to Jack?
The little white. Beautiful shot. Once again, that consistent line that's been a feature of his play so far.
In the tiebreaker next door, Clayton Holcomb has picked up one on the first end. Just under the line there.
Beautiful speed. Bit of a loose head over there for the women's there with Brooke. She's got quite a room to draw, whether it's for second.
I think at this point of the game, she nearly needs to be trailing that Jack 3 feet for a full count.
It's a tough one, isn't it? She's holding. She probably isn't holding, but she's got a chance to score a lot, but there's also a lot of room to draw. 6-3 down after 6 ends.
She looks in a good area.
As Glenn asked for the trail, and she delivers.
Don't know whether she's brought any of the back ones in, but she's certainly gotten a shot out of it.
Big shot from the superstar Brooke to keep her ambitions for the tournament alive. Back onto our string.
This match, if Mitch holds on to these 2 shots here, that'll be all she wrote.
Jeez, that's quick maths.
Well, he would be leading by 8 with 2 ends to play. A set win and a set draw would see him through if Bob was to get 2 4s on the final 2 ends of this match. So it all comes down to this bowl for Bob Watt.
Looks a bit wide out of release there.
Well, that's assuming it is 2. Of course, Scott indicated it was a measure but favoured Scott's bowl. This one's
not going to trouble
coast
scores.
Around the back. They'll have a good look.
Meanwhile, on the tiebreaker second end of the Rogers-Holcomb match, it looks like 2. Sammy Rogers in a bit of trouble. He's gone with weight. Oh, it's not a good result. Not sure what's been called here.
Well, looks like it's 2 shots because they're shaking hands there.
That'd do it.
Just wait for confirmation, and yep, there it is. A handshake, and Mitch Sidebottom is our first men's finalist for the 2025 Victorian Victorian Indoor Singles Championships, I should say. We're going to swing around the cameras to next door and catch what we can of the tiebreaker between Sam and Clayton.
So Mitch is just standing probably right in the way. He's very tall too, so it's hard to look around him. But I'll paint you a picture as Sam goes back for his last bowl of the second end and the last bowl of the second end. He is down 4 shots. Dropped 1 in the first end.
Yes.
He's down 4.
He's got about a mat length to get second shot out of this, which would...
If I know Sammy, he's going for it, mate. There's no second shot. It's weight.
He's looking closely.
Oh no,
it's gone out sideways, and I think he's got the tee.
I don't think that was clean somehow, Glenn. And somehow Sam Rogers I think has got the shot. Has got the shot, so it's 1 all into the last end. Maybe a little bit of fortune 4 down. Certainly didn't get that jack out of the bounds quick, but he got it out of bounds. Certainly wasn't clean. Maybe this is Sam Rogers' day. Who will be playing Mitch Sidebottom in the final? Brooke and Shelley. Shelley's up by 1 shot with 2 ends to go.
Yeah, so it was 2 to Brooke in the end, their last end, when she trailed that jack.
Important trail, wasn't it? This end far tighter from the ladies here, and looks like Brooke's got 2 right on it. Shelley not far away. This bowl is huge here from Sam. Winner takes all.
That's the way that you
What
want
a
to
shot.
start in a must-win end situation.
Quite simple. Whoever wins this end is through to the final of the Victorian Indoor Championships to play Mitch Sidebottom. The ladies' final, Olivia Cartwright's already there. We're unsure who's going to meet her there.
Clayton just coasting by the outside. Obviously, given that we are in the last end of this tiebreaker, we're not going to move the cameras for you. We're just going to do what we can with the unusual angles from the desk. So we do apologise that we don't have perfect images here.
But we can see quite clearly Sammy's got 1 and he just slides past for a second. Very comfortable position to be in, Glenn. This guy's made for big moments though.
The important thing for Clayton is he'll have last bowl. So while he's down at the moment and looking very close to the area for Jack.
Oh, I think it's just, what an effort.
He will have the last say in this game.
From my experience, Clayton Holcomb with the last say is always dangerous. I think Shelley has somehow managed to get the jack out wide. I think she's going to pick up a number here, Glenn. I don't know how the jack got out there.
I think it's 2 for sure.
And that is a very, very dominant position with Brooke needing to pick up a 4 on the last end to keep the game alive. Glenn.
Full count semi-final of a major event. That's the that's pressure if ever I've heard of it.
Seems to be all day. Shelley just being very attacking and a lot of damage with her weighted shots. She's got a foot in the semi-final to play Olivia Cartwright, the young superstar. But at the moment, our eyes are glued on this Sam Rogers, Clayton Holcomb, 1 set all, 1 shot all, last end, 2 bowls each for each player. The grey bowls, grey speckles, there's Sam Rogers. He looks close, Glenn.
That's exactly what he wants to play in that situation.
Unbelievable lawn bowl.
Of course, Sam won his last match in the last end of a tiebreaker. That was also one shot apiece. He was 2 down on the head playing the last bowl of the match, peeled them both out.
Glenn, there are people at home saying he's not that good, but I tell you, he is.
I thought they were just talking about his commentary when they said he's not that good.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. Clayton now going to have to construct something. There is a couple of angles from that bowl on the backhand side. Looks like he's playing this very firm on the forehand. Oh no, just over.
It is a long and languid setup from Clayton. It can be a bit deceptive about how much weight he's playing, but he's in a good area, just casts by the outside.
There was not much room in between that jack and bowl, I tell you. Now decisions for Sam.
Yeah, he's got the dilemma. Does he try and change the head up, or does he leave it as he is and go to that cover zone of where that jack could splash? Of course, Clayton having 2 attempts at it changes that makeup a little bit, because he knows what his adjustment will be after going so close with that last bowl of his.
And I will tell you, he was close with that last bowl. So this is the decision making. Sam is smiling at everyone that's prepared to look at him, because I don't know whether he knows what he's going to do.
In the background there, we can see Brooke Edwards playing a bowl that's going to make it very difficult. She's got 1 bowl past and 1 in front, needing to make 4. I believe that she may have 1 now, but I can't see a track to get both of the blue and white striped bowls out.
Certainly going to need to change the look of that head, Brooke, over there.
Well, it's hard though. You've got to change the look and make sure that your bowls stay around as well when you need that full count.
I think Sam has very little choice here, but to maybe get 1 past and try and play Clayton to a bit of a tougher weight.
I think there are three clear options here. It's change the head some way and maintain shot. It's put a blocker in and take Clayton's shot away, force him to do something different than he did with his last, or it's play that coverage bowl, splitting the 2 whites or getting the tee.
I think you don't want to close off that gap that he's just hit. But if you can change the weight that he's going to play through it, that's huge. I think he's played this quite well.
Oh, he's asking for it to fall and it hasn't.
I think that's a bit of a disaster, to be honest.
He's probably widened the target. He's not happy.
I don't think he's looking at us very angrily, and he's walking towards us, which I don't think means
I'm just going to mute us both quickly.
Yep.
Is this on? Yes. Fill the hole, and he can be within a 4-bowl target.
There you have it. The words from Sam himself. 4-bowl target, and he can see the jack.
But he's still got to get it. That's the reality. He's still got to get it. And, you know, time will tell as he lines up for a place in the final. Clayton Holcomb.
He's looking interested. Going through the window he needs to. Crashes his own bowl up the front. I don't know.
Certainly wasn't perfect, but I think it might be enough.
I think Stuart Amos might have just indicated 1 down. We're going to let Sam go over and have a look. It would be heartbreaking fashion for Sam Rogers to be eliminated if that's the case. Yeah, he's played it narrow. He's crashed a front bowl 4 feet through, split into that target.
Heartbreaking, but do not underestimate the effort from Sam Rogers throughout this tournament. He's played a lot of outstanding bowls, some really big moments. He's rightfully getting a clap. You know, I know everyone here in the BV team certainly enjoy his performance, and he's an important player of this team.
So from that, our men's Victorian Indoors final for 2025 will be Mitch Sidebottom out of Tallygaroopna up against Clayton Holcomb from Ararat VRI. At the same time, the women's final has just finished up, and Shelley Beater has come through and beaten Brooke Edwards. That final will be Olivia Cartwright against Shelley Beater. We'll take a short break, adjust some cameras, give the players a little bit of a time for a breather, and come back to you with finals action here at the 2025 Victorian Indoors Championship. As always, thank you to our streaming partners, Dandenong Club and Moama Bowling Club. Thank you to Josh on the decks, and thank you to Lloyd Yacarino. See you soon.